What's going on, everybody? D-Style here. Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on archive. You're listening to archive. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Take a moment. Thumbs up the video. And hit that notification button. That way you're notified every time D-Style Boxing comes on live. Check this out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Oscar De La Hoya was on ESPN the other day, right? On First Take, to be more exact. And he's talking about this and he's talking about that. And he's talking about the UFC and MMA and concentrating on things. Said a lot of things I didn't like, obviously. Well, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. De La Hoya comes out. We know how De La Hoya does it, right? He comes out and he's like, he's like, we're gonna revolutionize MMA and I'm gonna pay the fighters. I'm gonna pay the fighters what they deserve, and also the nonsense. I'm gonna come out and we're gonna shut up. Tired of this. I'm tired of people like Oscar De La Hoya coming out and saying they're going to do this and that. They didn't do it in boxing, but they're going to go and they're going to do it in MMA, right? Oh, I'm going to revolutionize this and I'm going to change the game and I'm going to do this thing where I pretend like I care about the fighters in MMA. Even though you don't care about the fighters in boxing, right? All of a sudden, but you expect us to believe. No, but in MMA, it's going to be different, right? Dana, look, I'm not the biggest Dana White fan. Have you been subscribed to me? You know that. If you've been subscribed to my channel, you know that. And if you didn't know, now you know. I'm not the biggest Dana White fan. However, there's a lot of boxing fans that just fucking hate on the UFC just for the sake of hating. Instead of acknowledging the unbelievable success that MMA has had under the leadership of Dana White, they like to just fucking hate. And they like to scold Dana White here on YouTube and tell him how he should run the UFC and like how about we concentrate on what we need to do to fix the crap in boxing before we go over there scolding a successful company like the UFC. All right? Oh, but it's sold. It's sold for $4 billion. You don't sell something for $4 billion if it's not worth something. Every month, consistently, over 200,000 buys, these motherfuckers sell, right? But that's not even my point here. You have this dude over here. Look, there are things I don't like about Dana. I like the way he conducts himself, right? And there are things I think he could improve, but that's not the issue here. The issue here is Oscar De La Hoya, right? Going on national television, just saying a bunch of ridiculous and embarrassing things. Coming out, I paid. The reason I did this fight was because I wanted to help, Chuck Liddell, who's suffering and he's impoverished and he has no money. And so I wanted to help him make money. Like, shut up. That's not what you did. You're a fucking liar, all right? You try to make a fucking that piece of shit pay-per-view you did with Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell, okay, with that whole trash of a card. The reason you did it, okay, because you wanted to make money. Be honest. Stop bullshitting. Okay, I'm getting tired of this bullshitting. You don't give a fuck about Chuck Liddell. Stop fucking acting like you do. And there's nothing wrong if you don't give a shit about Chuck Liddell. The issue is you acting like you do. If Oscar De La Hoya would have come out and said, look, I did the pay-per-view. Chuck Liddell's a grown-ass man. If he wants to fight past his prime, that's his issue. I'm a promoter. I promoted the event, and I wanted to make a profit. If he came out and he said that, okay, I wouldn't have an issue with it. Maybe some other people will have an issue with it, but I won't. I care about these fighters, and I'm here to help. Shut the fuck up, all right? You care about people that make you money, all right? Stop bullshitting. Stop the fucking I'm tired of the bullshit. It's a bunch of fucking horse shit. You know, the thing is that Dana White, he doesn't get his fighters paid. Like, shut the fuck up. I mean, Dana White came out with a response, and he just dropped bombs on Oscar De La Hoya. He just destroyed Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, holy shit. Had a piece of paper ready and everything. Called him out on not even knowing the name of the fighters of an event he was promoting. That is embarrassing. I don't care what anybody says. If I was promoting an event, I would take 30 minutes or something, write down the names. I would be familiar with the fights that I'm promoting. What else did he say? He said, Oscar didn't do shit in boxing. That was all Richard Schaefer. Bomb! I mean, holy shit. And everybody knows that's true. Everybody in boxing knows it. Everybody knows that. All you have to do is just shut up and not be a cokehead in public, and he would have been fine. Hey, well, what do you? I could say whatever I want because De La Hoya comes out and he talks shit about everybody else. He could come out and he could criticize Dana White, and he could come out and he could criticize Bob Arum, and he could come out and he could criticize people that promoters or whoever that's still trying to do pay-per-view. He could give his opinion about everything. So I'm going to give him my opinion about him. He's a fucking liar. I mean, holy shit, Dana came out and boom, 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 right? He put out the numbers of what Chuck Liddell got paid for that crap-ass pay-per-view that Golden Boy put out, all right? He came out and he talked about how much they paid Chuck Liddell when he was not even fighting, $400,000 to not fight. And he also put out the official figures of the last 3 fights Chuck Liddell had of making over $2 million. Now, unless Chuck Liddell comes out and says that's not true, then I got to take him for his word here. But that doesn't even matter. I just like the fact that De La Hoya was corrected on national television. And I like the fact that he was presented with facts. And I like the fact that he was exposed for the liar that he is. Good. Well, I'm going to revolutionize UFC. The fighters are calling me. Once your contracts are up, I'm going to get them, and they're going to be fighting not on pay-per-view. Okay, they're going to be on DAZN. Shut the fuck up about the stupid DAZN. All right, shit's not going anywhere. I don't give a shit about DAZN. Fuck DAZN. I don't give a shit about that. All right. The only fighter worth noting that he fucking has is fucking Oscar De La Hoya. I'm sorry, Canelo Alvarez. And he's the one that got the deal, not you. All right? Sure, we'll have a bunch of crap-ass Golden Boy cards, but we'll see. Oscar De La Hoya is a fucking fraud. All right? Dude came out, saying Golden Boy is going to revolutionize the way we conduct business in boxing. He made all types of promises, right? All talk the whole time, right? Dude came out of, oh, no, we're going to be different than the other promoters. Wasn't the case, right? Wasn't the case at all. Oh, we're gonna get boxing back on network TV. He just talked about it like for a decade. Nothing but talk. Well, he didn't get on network TV again. He didn't do shit. All right. Oh, we're going to come out, here at Golden Boy. We're going to just change the game. I mean, we're going to give, we're going to take a page out of the UFC. We're going to give everybody great undercards for our boxing events. Wrong. They didn't do shit. All right? Same ass, crap ass undercard fights. Pay-per-view after pay-per-view. Okay, Golden Boy was in charge of the pay-per-views for some of the Mayweather fights. Great opportunity to put young talent in very competitive fights or good fights on the undercards. They didn't do it. They didn't do shit. The smartest thing they ever did was put Saul Canelo Alvarez in the undercard of the Mayweather-Mosley fight. That's it. That's the only thing they ever did. Against Cotto's brother. Remember that? When he fought Cotto's little itty-bitty little brother or older brother, whatever. I don't know if he's older or younger. It doesn't matter. Okay? The less skilled, okay, the less impressive Cotto. But it's all right. I think Canelo was 19 at the time, but still. What else they do? That's the only smart move they ever did. Oh, we're going to end corruption in boxing, Golden Boy said. Oh, really? You're going to end corruption, like single-handedly. Oh, this promotion is run by fighters. It's me, De La Hoya, and Hopkins. And you guys remember when Barrera was part of Golden Boy? And Mosley was part of Golden Boy? Remember that? Like Mosley was charged of Golden Boy West, and like Barrera was charged of Golden Boy in Mexico, and we're gonna clean up the sport. Barrera got his out of Dodge for that one. Mosley got out. Hopkins stuck around. They didn't get rid of corruption. Are you kidding me? We had some of the most craziest scorecards in the history of mankind on their Golden Boy fight cards. Oh, we're going to get rid of these, corruption. Really? Right. You're going to do what exactly? Like Canelo's going to fight for a title against a guy that's not even in that weight class? Speaking of brothers, remember the less skilled, less impressive Haddon? Right? Remember that guy? Matthew Haddon? Not many people remember Matthew Haddon. People remember Ricky Haddon, but Matthew Haddon, the less skilled, less impressive brother, who was a welterweight, somehow got to fight for the 154-pound title against Canelo, bypassing all the contenders. But we're going to get rid of corruption, right? We're gonna make sure that the best. Remember when Golden Boy came out and talked about how they're going to have everybody. We're going to have best fight the best. They talked about all the problems boxing had, and they said they were going to change the game. They didn't do any of it. Nothing. And it's not like it's just that, but these style, they just started. No, they've been doing this for a decade, and in some cases, they're worse. I can deal with Don King's corrupt ass because Don King gave me good fucking fight cards. I have a hard time dealing with someone who's corrupt and has all the same bad traits that promoters had before Golden Boy came along, right? And they give me crappy undercards and mismatches and fights we do not want to see, all right? I still remember when Canelo, right, had just won a title and Golden Boy was out there like, who do you want to see Canelo fight next? Everybody said, not Mosley, please, because we know it's going to be Mosley. What did they do? They put him in there against Mosley. A washed up, has been Mosley. Oh, we're going to come in. We're going to change the name of the game. You ain't going to change shit. And you didn't change shit. And now you expect us all to believe that somehow if you can get involved in MMA, you're going to change the game and revolutionize it. And everybody in MMA is going to get paid and all this other horse shit. It's bullshit. That's what it is. It's bullshit. Look, a lot of boxing fans come out here and criticize the UFC. You know that UFC fans don't sit around talking about how much this guy's making and who's the A side, B side. Blah, blah, blah. They don't talk about that. And they, more often than not, get the fights that they want to see. And that's all fans should care about. And the thing is, it's a private company. You don't know what the fighters are making. A lot of them, negotiate deals. They get pay-per-view cuts. Okay, they don't release that information to the public, which is perfectly fine. Who cares? It's true. A UFC fighter will never make $400 million in a fight. So what? Like, what do you care about that? So what? All right, do I have to settle for $20 million? Like, what's the big fucking deal? At least they're investing in their future. At least they have gyms all over the fucking, the country and shit and the world. At least they got young kids, all right, in MMA gyms that they're just surpassing boxing in that sense. The youth follows MMA more because of the UFC, all right? I mean, they just, look, there's things I don't like. Obviously, I don't like the fact that they're exclusive to Reebok and fighters aren't able to make, especially some of the undercard fighters, mid-card fighters, more money off of, their own sponsors, stuff like that. Of course, I don't like all that. I could give my opinion about that, but it's not a make or break, all right? I'm not here to hear like any improvements the UFC can make. The answer is not Oscar De La Hoya. Like that I can tell you. All right. All Oscar would do. Let's say Oscar took over MMA. All right. The only thing Oscar would do is line up his pockets and the pockets of his headliners. That's it. He wouldn't give a fuck about the brand. He will line up his pockets and the pockets of a few fighters. That's all he would do, and that's all he's ever done. And the few fighters he lines up the pockets for because they're lining up his pockets. Oscar De La Hoya doesn't give a fuck about the fighters, right? He could keep saying he does. He does not. He doesn't. I'm not here to take anyone's word for it. I'm going by action. He doesn't care about the fighters. If he cared about the fighters, he would have been working tirelessly to get their names out there, to get their names out there, to promote them, to put them in fights that people get interested in, rather than being in a fucking hotel room, getting coked up, getting utensils shoved up his ass. Right? If he really cared about the fighters, he would have done things for the fighters. Oscar De La Hoya is a true definition of a hater, right? The word hater is used a lot. It's overused. But when it comes to Oscar De La Hoya, it does apply. Because in every instant, Oscar De La Hoya has to come out and say, well, if I had this fighter, he would have already been a superstar. If I had Deontay Wilder would be fighting in stadiums and he would be a huge pay-per-view star. And, I think, pay-per-view, we don't need to do pay-per-view no more. I mean, I think that what we got to do now is the zone, the whole pay-per-view thing. I mean, charging people $75 for a fight? I mean, how horrible. You did that your whole fucking career, dude. Your whole career, you charged people to watch your fights. And for a decade, you've been charging people to watch pay-per-view fights for fighters you promoted. And now you want to come out and talk about how the UFC is doing it all wrong because they're charging people to watch. The UFC actually charges 65, not 75, but that's not here nor there. All right. Now you want to come out and just kind of insinuate in a hater kind of way, that boxing shouldn't do pay-per-view anymore. Right when we just had, what I would consider a successful pay-per-view event. All right, but you want to be a hater. Dana White's doing, over there running the UFC. If I had an opportunity to run the UFC, all the fighters would make a lot of money, and like all your fighters didn't get paid for the last pay-per-view you had in MMA. Okay, you yourself have fighters making $2,000 for a fight on your fucking undercards and your dark matches. You fucking hypocrite. Okay. I mean, holy shit. You don't even know the name of the fighters and shit. It's just embarrassing. How embarrassing is Oscar De La Hoya? I mean, this is embarrassing. Right? I mean, holy shit. God damn, this dude's embarrassing. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. With that said, all right, now he wants to get rid of pay-per-view. Now he thinks pay-per-view is bad. Like, listen to the way he says it. Like, we're not going to do fights where we charge people $75 for a fight. Like saying it like in a scolding way. Like it's a bad thing to do. This shit. It's not bad to charge people for entertainment. Okay, it's not. Because people will buy it if they want. It's not a necessity. It's not like we're overpricing the cost of water, all right, on their water bill, their light bill, or their fucking gas bill or some shit. No, we're talking about entertainment. Either you don't have to watch it if you don't want. You don't have to pay for it if you don't want. But he wants to come out and say pay-per-view, the pay-per-view model's dead. Like, how convenient, right? Well, it's not dead for the UFC, and it's not dead for fighters that can still want to do it. If Wilder can sell pay-per-view, then he can do it, and that's it. Stop being a fucking hater. You're the one that just last year, just not even last year, like maybe 6 months ago, if Wilder was with me, he'd be selling pay-per-view, right? Now that he's selling pay-per-view, all of a sudden the pay-per-view model isn't the way to go. Shut the fuck up, right? I really wish, look, Canelo does not need De La Hoya. I really do wish he would just leave De La Hoya. Like, he doesn't need him. Especially now that he's got this deal. I mean, he's probably tied to it now, but De La Hoya's probably getting 10% of those three. Like, he's probably getting, like $30 million out of that fucking deal. For what? If me, I will make sure if I took over the UFC, everybody would get paid and everybody would be taken care of. Just like they were all taken care of when they're boxing under me. Yeah, right. Fuck you. All right? Dax Tag, we're not talking about Trump right now. I'll do a video later about that. But anyway, with that said, this is D-Style and I'm out.